hello everyone, and welcome to Proline Daily, courtesy of JimFeist.com. I'm John Cranton in Las Vegas, joined by world champion handicapper Jim Feist. It is Tuesday. Let's take a look at some baseball and NBA action. First, Jim, you got an easy win with that Toronto-Cleveland Game 1 over the total yesterday, part of a 101-60 NBA run. You get more winners in store for Tuesday.
Yeah, we also have the NHL going. We got a 3-pack tonight at JimFeist.com. I'm 195 and 149. That's plus $2,297 to $100 player in the NHL. NBA TV Showdown tonight, plus a guaranteed 2-0 high roller parlay for just $20. You go 2-0, or the next 2 days are free. So you can always go to JimFeist.com, but you can also call our room for that special, 866-546-9467.
All right, Dave Cokin had a nice total winner with the Mets and the Brewers last night. He also has a 2-pack of baseball plays going available today, Tuesday, at JimFeist.com. Check it out. All right, let's start with this NBA game tonight. The late game, you got Utah against Golden State, Game 1 of the series. See some line movement in this game. Jim, I saw 13 and then up to 13.5, but you mentioned that it's starting to go back now?
Well, we're starting to see some value bettors come in on Utah. I'm seeing some 12.5s. I'm seeing some 13s with minus a little bit less money on them, dog favored. But, and then we see the total at 208 down to 206. And some places have a 206 under. So it's, I think what's going on here, we look at this game, it's pretty interesting. Utah's a low-scoring team. They don't give up a lot of points. A lot of times they never reach 100, or their opponent never reaches 100. So you look at the total at 208, you say, okay, what were the odds makers thinking? Well, how do you get to 208 when this team constantly goes under the total? But you got to remember something. Let's look at the situation. You have a rested team with Golden State Warriors. They had an easy time of it with in some of the games without Durant. They had an easy time of it against Portland, who's a pretty dynamic little team, but they're not as good as Portland or as Utah, of course. Utah's coming off that 7-game series win over the Clippers. Now, interesting though, they had an opportunity at home to beat the Clippers and win that series, but they didn't do it. They came out and really played terribly in that game, and Paul took over, and the Clippers win that game. But then they go back home, the Clippers, and they just don't show up. Utah outplayed them, totally in charge of that game from beginning to end. But that was a big effort. So you have those back-to-back efforts by Utah to close out that series, and they did finally do that. Now they got to go to Golden State. Now they have a pretty good history against Golden State, but this isn't about history. This is a special situation where you have a totally rested team that is very deep, and their only thing they're really missing tonight is their coach. But, Mike Brown has been there. He's got a lot of history in the league. He knows what he's doing. He's not a Steve Kerr, but they're going to get it done. And Kerr is, he's advising not from the sidelines, but from his hospital bed or home bed. But, unfortunately, he's got this back problem, and I wish him well. We're all rooting for him to get well. But Golden State is prepared. They're going to want to open this series with a win. Of course, they're 12, 13-point favorite. So they're likely going to win the game. Utah's, this series head-to-head, 13-3 under the total. But when you have a situation of a potentially tired or flat team coming off a Game 7 win on the road as an underdog, back on the road to open a series against the best team in basketball, this is a different situation, and you have to look at it differently. You can't go by all that history stuff. you have to look at the situation that's at hand today. And that is, you have a solid Golden State rested team against a potentially tired team. So I don't think the odds makers really took all of that into consideration. I think there's some holes in this game where there's some opportunities to pick up a couple wins.
Yeah, the situation is huge for this game. Obviously, Utah's going to want to slow the pace down, but what a terrible situation. 7-game series, game 7 on the road, now heading on the road again. Utah hasn't really been healthy most of the season. Rudy Gobert did see a little bit of action, but he's still battling an ankle problem and clearly wasn't at full strength. So they're going to want to slow the pace down, but can they do it? Golden State just has so many weapons. They're off that 4-game evisceration of Portland, winning all 4 by an average of 18 points. They are rested, which is good for Durant, who sat out 2 of those games. And Golden State can play great defense, too. They're number 1 in the NBA in field goal shooting defense allowed and tops in three-point. But they're also tops in the NBA in scoring, so they can play any style. And it's clear they are going to want to run like mad against the tired teams. You look at the regular season meetings, I'm with you. I'm not going to put too much into this because the situation is totally different than right now. But the 2 games that Golden State won, it was a mixed bag. They won at Utah 106-99, and then they blew the Jazz out on this court 104-74. Have to believe Golden State is going to run like crazy, and if so, boy, if they get up by 10 points or so, you have to wonder if Jazz are going to pull the guys in the fourth quarter the way San Antonio did last night and trying to regroup for the next game. All right, let's. By the way, the Jazz are 1-6 against the spread on this court. So there's quite a few things favoring the home team tonight. Let's take a look at the baseball game going tonight on the West Coast. You got the Angels playing the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are a home favorite here, 142, even up to 150 in some places with the total of 7. However, the Angels are playing pretty good ball right now. They're only 3.5 back in the West. They got a winning record now. Haven't done that on the road at 5-9. But Seattle has all kinds of troubles as well. Angels on a nice 7-2 run. Neither team played yesterday, but they do come off a win Sunday against Texas. The Angels did 5-2. That's part of a 7-2 run for this team. And they're not really doing it with offense yet. 22nd in baseball and runs scored in on-base percentage, but the pitching has been very good. Top 11 in ERA. Keep in mind when the Angels, they're not the high-scoring team you might imagine. 33-16 and 3 run under the total, despite having the best offensive player in the game. And the pitcher that they're going to go with tonight, this Shoemaker, he's got a bad ERA, 4.73. However, he's actually pitched much better than that. In 5 of 6 starts this season, he's allowed 2 runs or less. He's been outstanding. In fact, 4 straight games, he's allowed 2 runs. And here they are in the role of underdog. And then you got the Seattle team that, well, let's face it, no ballast or balance with this team. The Mariners are 4-6 run. Got a pretty good offense, top 6 in runs scored, but the pitching has been dreadful, number 29 in team ERA. They do have our favorite tonight at home because they have their best starter, James Paxton, going. They've been looking at this guy to be an ace the last couple of years, but he's been hot and cold and battling some injuries. But I'm wondering if he's really found that potential and talent, because he's 3-0 with a 1.39 ERA. However, Jim, they don't score a lot of runs when he pitches. 4-9 when Paxton is pitching at home. So I'm wondering if maybe the dog is a way to look at tonight's game.
Well, 4-9 is not the way I choose to look at it. I don't like history lessons in sports betting. I'm a current guy. I like to know. I mean, I can go back and say, well, I used to run a 100-yard dash under 10 seconds. Well, and that's true, but I can't do that today. And it's this kid has. Let's see, started his first outing was against Houston, and his second outing was against Houston as well. In those 2 games, he goes 6 innings, 0 earned runs. 7 innings, 0 earned runs. Then he goes and he plays against Texas. 8 innings, 0 earned runs. Then he plays against Oakland, and this is a game I lost the bet on this game, but he goes 4 1/3, and he gives up 5 earned runs. So that was a bad game, the worst game of the year. Then here's what he does next. He goes against Detroit. At Detroit, he goes 7 innings, 0 earned runs. So 4 of the 5 games he's pitched, he has given up 0 earned runs. He's had 1 game that he's given up 5 runs in 4 innings. Now that's part of his overall 139 ERA, .83 whip. But you remove that game, this guy's been the best pitcher in baseball. And his strikeouts have been also remarkable, with no home runs allowed. In those games he pitched, he's 5 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 0 home runs. Base on balls, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Best pitcher in baseball right now is Paxton. Now, you're paying a price and you don't have the best team, but you're not playing against the best team either. They're not all that good that I should be afraid of them. I like Paxton in this game.
Yeah, he is certainly the ace going. And keep in mind, when the Angels face a team with a whip less than 1.155 or 1.15, they are terrible, 17-38. And also, as far as head-to-head divisions between these teams, 11-5-1 over the total. All right, if you want to get free plays daily, just pick up the telephone and call the toll-free number, 888-294-1970. Jim, it is Tuesday, and you're on that 101-60 sizzling NBA run, including that big high roller total winner last night with Toronto and Cleveland, and you have more on tap for Tuesday.
I do. And you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Jim Feist Sports. And remember, you can sign up for baseball. I had a great season last year. I did not have a great April, but, April's the first month of the season. Baseball's long. I'm going to go with the track record that I have, and it starts in May, and here we go. $4.99 for the entire month of 30 days of baseball, jimfeist.com. Plus, you can get a free play daily by texting GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827.
All right, thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll be back on Wednesday with another Proline Daily direct from Las Vegas. We'll see you then.